Okay, Jason asked on May 16th. I have always tried to push the images to the limits of contrast and color saturation slash vibrance to create images that are more attractive. I am always mindful of the balance, keeping things looking real as possible. But I noticed that many of your images, my images, have great saturation and contrast and really pop. Am I editing in SRGB or higher color gamuts? And what are the secrets for editing for a striking color that may help attract potential clients? Okay, so I kind of went over, I know this question was several days ago, and I went back and forth in my mind on whether or not I was going to do an editing video, and that is not in the scope of this group. So I don't want to get into the nitty gritty about you know editing and stuff, but I do want to go over a few things because I think what you're really asking is what sells better. Is it super saturated images, or what gamut or range should I aim for to sell pictures? Um, and that's a pretty good question. So I wanted to show you a few things. Okay, um, so here's a photographer who I get emails from, and I continue to get emails from because his marketing emails are actually pretty good templates to kind of follow and learn from. But I mean, you look at these images, and let's go to his ocean pictures, and I'm just gonna say it. I think these are horrible. Look at the color on these, and look at these highlighted lines. These I don't even know what to call that, but that comes from over editing. Um, it comes from removing chromatic aberration and increasing saturation and contrast and clarity. And you can get rid of these and to maintain this ridiculous color that he has in this picture. But anyway, I think this is a poorly edited composite, and the color is out of this world, unreal. And but this guy has a gallery in Southern California, and he's had a gallery for as long as I followed him for the last few years. So that means he's selling work, and this is on the very far end of oversaturated, but people buy it. Okay, so people are interested in color. There's a difference between taking photos for other photographers, to create better and better images, um, and to get recognition with. And then there's images that people are going to buy. Now, I'm not saying you should go oversaturate the way this does. I'm just showing you an example of an oversaturating artist who still, or photographer who still makes a fair amount of money. I mean, what this is looks like a spot on his camera. Anyway, yeah, it blows my mind, but he makes money. Okay, so then we can go to another artist here. This is Michael Levin. He's another artist I follow. A real, in my opinion, artist with a camera, not just a photographer. And these colors are very much subdued. He's mostly known for his black and whites, but his color photographs are pretty awesome. And in my last video, I talked about finding your voice. And if you notice, all these pictures have a central theme or reoccurring composition elements that make these pictures more than just photographs. So, but these colors they're not Michael Peterson for sure. Okay. Um, so that's on the further end of the scale, or further side of the scale, before going maybe to black and white. Okay. I've seen his pieces in print and they look great. And then, here's the whole standard that everyone follows. And Peter Lick, in some places, he is far, far on the oversaturated, kind of ridiculous looking picture like this one. But in other cases, he is a bit more moderate in the color, and the pictures are good. So the answer is that there's no right answer on the amount of saturation to put in your pictures, or your art pieces or your photographs, depending on where you are. But here's the gamut of photographers who make money with their photographs in printing, and and you know, I forgot how I'm trying to say it, but the answer is there's no right answer, and it's really up to you. Okay, you got to create stunning visuals. Um, I personally lean toward Michael Levin and Peter Lick, and try to really stay away from these types of images, which are just blow my mind. I mean, look at these edits. It's just, I don't know how he makes money, but he makes money, which is the other thing. Marketing is as important or more important than your talent. So, so there's that. Okay, but you're also asking about editing in sRGB or higher color gamuts. Yeah, okay, so I pulled this up. I was going to show you a thing on the ice cave, but we're not going to do that. Okay, so this is a color gamut, and these are the range of available colors that you can see with your eye. This smaller triangle is sRGB, and then this middle triangle here, mid-size triangle, is Adobe RGB. Okay, sRGB are only colors you'll see on the internet. So if you edit in sRGB, you lose all the rest of these colors in your artwork. So you lose the ability to go from this deep orange to this bluish green. It's just not available. So you should be editing in Pro Photo RGB or Adobe RGB. In most cases, if you don't have a really good computer screen, your computer can't generate all the Pro Photo RGB colors. So the standard is to edit in Adobe RGB, and then when you are going to send it to the internet, if you don't want the colors to shift, you would export it as an sRGB, so you would know exactly how the picture will look on the internet. Okay, you don't edit in sRGB, you edit in Adobe because there's more colors, or you edit in Pro Photo. It's really all there is to say about that. You should set your colors to Adobe and then export in sRGB. But when you export to print your images, you export in Adobe or Pro Photo. But if you're using a printer their printer cannot print in the Pro Photo RGB space, and they're going to drop it down to the Adobe RGB space, and there will be a color shift. So if you really want your prints dialed in and you really want to know what they look like, with no guesswork, then you'll communicate with your printer about color space, and you'll send it to them in the color space that they can print. Okay, so if we go back to our group, we have a question about, the other question is about what are the secrets to editing striking color that helps attract potential clients. It's the subject and composition that are really going to attract clients. And in composition, I also mean the composition of light, and where in the image is bright and where in the image is darker, so that you can have this visual flow around your image. And if you don't have that, then you're just kind of stuck floating on this square, and it doesn't help people explore the image in a guided way. So that's more important than striking color, because obviously black and whites, generally clients want to see something with more vibrant and more saturation, but you have to find your area of comfort in that area, in your colors. So I hope that answers your question without going into how to edit a photo. There are plenty of tutorials out there. If you remember from the last video, if you didn't see it, I will show you. Go to my photo drive, and then tutorials. These are all the tutorials that I've purchased over the years, and there's many of them. Some of these folders have even more learning inside of it, and this is how you learn these skills that you're asking about. And you take all of this learning and you apply it in a way that works for you, and that ends up being the color and pop that you want to see. So there's no shortcut to getting the image that you want. I could show you how I do it, but then you would be doing it how I do it, and it's not exactly what you're looking for. There's no shortcut to learning all of this. Okay. So start collecting tutorials. Maybe you can team up with one of your friends, and some of you buy one set of tutorials, the other one buy the other, and you guys learn them together. I don't know. I know that I know Alex is in this group, and if he heard me say that, he'd probably cringe, because that's how he makes money. So I would take it back. But you know, some of us, all of us, are operating on budgets. So yeah. But Alex is in our group, so go check out his tutorial, Alex Noriega, and let me see if there's anything that I can add to this. Nope. I hope that helps. Okay. Drop your questions in the group, and I will talk to you in the next video.